In order to enter the Shaolin Temple to learn Kung Fu, the man took a knife and shaved all his hair off. Then, he picked up 2 sticks of incense and inserted them into the top of his head. Soon, the man fainted from the pain. It turned out that the man was a general from a large family. However, this aroused the jealousy of a traitor. The man was sent to participate in a war, but the traitor conspired with the enemy, killed the man's family, and framed the man for the crime. With nowhere else to go, the man came to the Shaolin Temple. However, the high monk was unwilling to take him in. The man revealed his identity, hoping the monk would allow him to stay in the temple, but he had no evidence to prove who he was. During a scuffle, the monk accidentally noticed the inscription on the man's stick and realized that the man's identity was indeed genuine. However, the monk believed that the man should fight on the battlefield rather than become a monk in the Shaolin Temple and still refused him. But the man was not willing to give up. When the man woke up from his faint, he found himself dressed in monk's robes. He was overjoyed, thinking that the monk had agreed to let him stay. But as he was eating, a fellow monk next to him demanded that he leave after finishing his meal. Enraged, the man grabbed his stick and ran to the training hall. Seeing that his senior brothers couldn't defeat the wooden wolf, the man used the staff technique taught by his family to shatter the wooden wolf. The monk was shocked by the man's ferocity and had to demonstrate the staff technique for driving away wolves. He inserted the stick into the wooden wolf's mouth and knocked until all its teeth were gone. Only then did the man understand. The monk agreed to let the man stay and arranged for him to practice on the back mountain. After a period of training, the man quickly mastered the Shaolin staff technique. On the other side, the man's sister wanted to bring her brother home but was ambushed by the traitor on the way. When the man heard the news, he was devastated and prepared to leave the Shaolin Temple to rescue his sister. However, the monk stopped him, telling him that as a monk, he should not kill. So the two engaged in a fight. The monk's staff technique was superb, but the man used a staff technique he had developed himself and successfully defeated the monk. The monk had no choice but to agree to let the man leave. Then, the man arrived at the traitor's residence with a pile of bamboo poles. As the traitor's men appeared, the man thrust the bamboo poles forward and knocked down more than a dozen people at once. Soon, the man burst in and saw 6 coffins on the ground. He guessed that his sister was inside one of them, but suddenly many assassins emerged from the coffins. The man found an opportunity to rescue his sister, but they were surrounded by the assassins. At that moment, the monk and a group of Shaolin disciples rushed in. With the help of the disciples, the man killed the traitor and avenged his family.